welcome back to Nails Before Films. Today, I'm continuing my review of the Alien franchise. I've already reviewed the 3 sequels of Alien. The link for that is in the description and top right corner now. This time, I'll be going over the 2 crossover movies, Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. And man, it's impressive how they could make these 2 movies as boring as they were. You just need to make 2 aliens fight. How are you able to make it so unexciting? I've only watched the first Predator movie, so I'm not as familiar with Predator lore. My thoughts on the 2 movies will be based on what I know about the 2 franchises. Anyway, let's go over AVP first. The story of AVP is needlessly complicated, involves way too many humans, and makes little sense. Instead of just giving us Alien vs. Predator, we first meet a bunch of humans we don't care about. They go on an expedition in Antarctica because they find a pyramid under the ice. It turns out that the pyramid is a hunting ground for the predators who return to Earth every century. Ancient civilizations would sacrifice people to be the hosts of xenomorphs, creating the perfect prey for the predators. I have so many problems with this setting. For example, if this happens every century, shouldn't there be some sort of record of a similar event in 1904? How come this is the first time the pyramid is discovered? Also, how can they trap the alien queen for so long? I find it hard to believe that a practically perfect creature can be chained up for so long. And has the queen never escaped before? I know that the predators would self-destruct to kill all xenomorphs if their hunt failed. Then how did the pyramid and the queen survive? Lastly, in the end, we discovered that the dead predator actually has a xenomorph inside him. It's ridiculous how long he lasts after being impregnated. And why does the queen try to kill him? Isn't that like killing your child? You might say, it's a dumb action movie, who cares about the story? And that's exactly my point. There are so many things that don't make sense in this movie, and it's completely unnecessary. I would have been fine if the predators just happened to run into the xenomorphs and they tried to kill each other. Seriously, that would have been enough. All this BS about an expedition, ancient civilizations, a pyramid, etc. is completely unnecessary and frankly annoying. I'm willing to forgive the dumb plot if the action is good. Heck, I might even find it enjoyably stupid. Unfortunately, even the action is suboptimal. How do you mess this up? Aliens already showed us that an action movie with xenomorph is doable and can even be great. Predator is also an amazing action movie. How do you mess up 2 iconic aliens fighting each other? First of all, the movie takes its sweet time to get to AVP. We only get our first matchup after 50 minutes, which is more than halfway through the movie. For the most part, it's human versus alien or human versus predator, and it's so boring. We already know most of these guys are gonna die. We don't care about them. Get back to aliens killing each other. The first fight is okay, and the visual of the grid wound on the alien is really cool, but it's basically downhill from there. The second predator's xenomorph kill is really lame. He just sliced his head open. And the final fight between the predator and the alien queen is underwhelming too. They just have to shove the final girl in there, and it's so annoying. I hate the idea that Predator needs help from a human to defeat the alien queen. We're here to see Predator and alien fight and who comes out on top. Throwing a human in there defeats the whole point. Even though Predators sort of win in the end, we don't know if they're actually stronger than xenomorphs because of you meddling humans. Speaking of the final girl, Lex, I think. I don't even remember the humans' names. I hate how the Predator actually takes her with him and even makes her a weapon. Predator is way too kind and reasonable in this movie. Predators would never enlist the help of a human whom they consider to be their prey. I get that Lex finds Xenomorph to be more of the threat. That makes sense, but Predator should never team up with her. It makes no sense. He should have just ditched her or killed her. Why is he being so nice to her? What is even happening? When he was dying in the end and Lex held him in her arms, I was like, what, are you guys gonna kiss or something? It's so weird and out of character for Predator. Anyway, there are a few things I like about the movie. As I mentioned before, I think the first fight is fine. It's even pretty cool. Despite the pyramid makes no sense, the setting is interesting. I do like how it's a moving maze, but I wish we get to see Alien or Predator utilize this more. For those who watch my Predator review, you know that I think Predators are super hot and they're still hot in AVP. I like how all of the humans are dead except Lex. I would have been fine if she died too, but we all know she's going to survive. Lastly, although I think it makes no sense how the Xenomorph has been inside the Predator for so long, I actually like that ending. I thought, oh, maybe the next movie will actually be about Alien versus Predator. Maybe we'll see the Predators on that ship deal with this Xenomorph. That would be cool. Imagine my disappointment when that's not at all what happens in AVP Requiem. It's hard for me to decide whether AVP or AVPR is worse. Both are terrible in their own ways. AVPR actually started strong. I had high hopes for it. It takes place right after the first movie. We see a Xenomorph burst from the Predator and it kills everyone on that ship. I really liked that part. I was like, oh, maybe they're going to give us AVP this time. No human BS. My hopes crashed to the ground when the ship crashed on Earth. I knew at that point that this movie would be about annoying humans again. Not soon after that, we were introduced to all these human characters that nobody cares about. Why? Why are you doing this? It started out so well. I was so excited to see a full-out war between aliens and predators. But no, we have to go back to Earth and meet all these boring humans. We don't care about them. Why is that so hard to understand? Even the action and visuals are terrible in AVPR. What the heck is with the lighting? I can't even see what's going on. I'm sure the alien/predator hybrid is cool, but too bad I can't even see it. Besides the terrible lighting that makes it impossible to see anything, the final fight between the alien and predator actually made me nauseous. The cinematography is horrendous. At least in the last movie, the moving pyramid is kind of cool, but AVPR just takes place in a boring town. It's just so underwhelming. Now, let's talk about the protagonist of AVPR. No, I'm not talking about the boring humans. I'm talking about Predator. I already think the first movie makes Predator too much of a good guy, and this one is not better. I appreciate that at least this Predator doesn't bring a human along with him. He has more dignity than that. But he feels like the protagonist, which makes the fights a bit unfair. In the end, we still don't know whether Alien or Predator is stronger because both of them get killed by the military, which is a real cop-out for a crossover movie. Anyway, let's talk about the humans for a bit. Somehow they managed to make them even more annoying than the first movie. I absolutely hate the high school love drama. We don't care. Stop wasting my time. The only character that doesn't annoy me as much is the military mom because she has the least screen time. Don't get me wrong, it's super convenient that she just so happens to come home and knows how to fly a helicopter. But at least she's not in my face all the time. So is there anything I like about AVPR? Well, I already mentioned that I think the opening scene is good. At least we don't have to wait 15 minutes for AVP to happen this time. And I appreciate them having the balls to have a xenomorph burst out of a kid and kill a bunch of pregnant women. Not a lot of horror movies are willing to kill kids brutally. Is it necessary? No. Is it there for shock value? Yes. But at least the gore provides this boring movie some excitement. Predator is still super hot and the idea of a Xenomorph Predator hybrid could have been cool. It's just a shame that I can't see it. That's basically my thoughts on the two Alien vs. Predator crossover movies. There's really not much to say about them. They're pretty boring and don't give the audience what we want. We just want to see two aliens fight. We don't care about the story and we certainly don't give a fudge about the human characters. For those who watched my Alien and Predator reviews last year, links in the description, you'll notice that I recycled the nails I did for those two videos for this video. Call me lazy if you want, but I don't like the AVP movies enough to make new nails. Besides, I really like this Predator nail I did last year. I spent a lot of time on it. Hope you guys like my review and nails. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, share, do what you want. Follow me on other social medias if you like. Links are in the description. Keep nailing it and don't be annoyingly boring like the humans in these movies, people.